Politics. Secular humanism. World politics. God-ordained government. Government is good as long as it doesn't conflict with freedom and things that He's given man. Man, individual responsibility, marriage, family, and government. And government cannot nullify what God has already established. Just like then comes the church. The church came after government was established. The church is not government. The church is a spiritual identity. God ordained it. Secular humanism, world government is where they want to go. When all the governments of the world are broken down, all the borders are demolished, and all the currency is united, world government equals world peace. Now, why would they think that would work? I mean, again, Daniel's dream, Daniel's vision that Nebuchadnezzar had, the feet of clay and iron. It's like, you can't. You can do it. You can sign the treaty. You can make the agreement, but it's going to crumble. Marxism, the world-class takeover, when the working class takes over and they have all the property dismantled, then there'll be no need for government. Notice, God ordained, you want to see how the world is coming against God's institutions? God established government for the well-being of mankind in its right limits. Secular humanism wants world government, one world government, not many. Marxism wants no government. Cosmic humanism, when spiritual unity is achieved, it makes government obsolete. They don't want any government. They just want spiritual unity. And postmodernism, get rid of Western culture, empower the minorities, and everything will be fine. Give the government to the minorities, get rid of Western culture. That is postmodern worldview. Next one, please. Now we're into economics. See if you can pick up anything here. Does any of this stuff sound familiar? Anything? I mean, besides the Christian, do you see any of these things coming in your newspapers, on your radio, from politicians? Anything? If you haven't, wake up. Okay? Here it is. Economics. Free enterprise. In other words, one, we need a system that will check man's sin nature. You just can't have a free-for-all. There has to be some kind of government, some kind of regulation over man. Otherwise, he's just going to hoard stuff. He's selfish. That's his nature. He's got a sin nature. So something has to be in place to limit man. Limit, not completely take over. And the same thing, make man responsible. Mankind, if a man don't work, a man don't eat. Basic principle. There has to be certain rules, but listen, if you don't work, you don't eat. In other words, we're not going to feed you. If you don't work, you're not going to eat. There's plenty of freedom to go out and make a living. But at the same time, we got to put some kind of boundaries on you, absorbing and taking everything to yourself and becoming a tyrant. So there's a balance. Economic. It's called the free enterprise system. Secular humanism. Man plans, here it is, man plans the perfect economy. If we think, if we negotiate, if we move things around or reposition the money, we can create the perfect economy. It's called interventionist. Marxism. Production is it. Everything has evolved again. We said it from slavery to feudalism to capitalism, eventually to socialism. So right now in the Western world, we're at capitalism. What has to happen in this worldview is we have to overthrow capitalism and bring in socialism so we can dissolve private property, so we can move into the utopia of communism. That's this worldview. Sound familiar? Interventionist. Does that sound familiar? Create the perfect economy? This used to make sense. Free enterprise. Cosmic humanism, back here to the spiritual. Spiritual harmony causes material to flow to you. If you'll just get in touch with your inner self, it will just come. I've tried that. That's my favorite one. You just pray and it comes. I'm not in harmony yet. I still have to go to work tomorrow. Postmodernism, alleviate human suffering with government intervention. Again, this sounds good. Our goal is to alleviate all human suffering. Well, no, as Christians, we're in favor of human suffering. Well, what do you mean you alleviate? Everybody wants to alleviate. Which one of these wants to create human suffering? Now, some just want to eliminate humans that are in their way, but they want to alleviate human suffering with government intervention. So if the government can just take over all these things, get what they want, and redistribute it, they can solve the problem, because in the free enterprise, you're too selfish to do anything about it. Again, that's why there has to be some kind of check and balance. You need to redistribute your own wealth. The Bible has it. You've got money. It says repeatedly, giving to the poor. It is a command. You're responsible for yourself, your family, but you're responsible for your community. You're responsible for those that are less fortunate. That's a biblical principle. So it's just not about getting, it's about getting so you now can distribute. This right here, interventionist, or down here, this intervention, is about taking it from you, because you don't know what to do with it, and balancing it all out. Well, of course, you know what that's going to do to make man responsible. You take away what I got, I'm going to stop going and getting it. I mean, how many times you got to do that? We're about there as a culture. Economics.